Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. This month's Paper Pumpkin kit is called My Wonderful Family. It is for the month of April 2020. And of course, I'm going through the supplies. So this ink spot I'm trading out for my regular sized ink pad. This stamp set has a lovely sentiments, and there's also identifying ones like mother, father, daughter, son, that sort of thing, and a big tree image. There's a ribbon. And then this Just Add In Color next month's Paper Pumpkin kit has been sold out, so I can't sell it to you, sadly. This is the instruction booklet, and it tells you how to go about doing the kit the way the instructions tell you to. And it even gives you the coordinating Stampin' Up colors and all that should be in the box. And of course, I don't listen to these instruction manuals, but I do keep them. All right, for my first card, it's really simple. I added a Whisper White thick card base. I added a Pear Pizzazz piece of card, a Pear Pizzazz little strip of card, a Whisper White regular stamping weight paper. So basically, I felt that you only have so much family. And I felt kind of like, what happens if you've already given your family the cards that are designed in the kit? How will you be able to utilize this kit? So I thought I would, it would be more of an encouraging kind of kit for just anybody, not necessarily your family. So I have added, all this is new paper, so I'm just sort of utilizing a little bit of the stamp. So you see what I did there with the sentiment strip. I inked up with Pear Pizzazz, and then I sponge daubed on some shaded spruce, which is one of the coordinating Stampin' Up colors. And here's a close-up of this technique I'm still doing with the leaves. So I put my ink, my stamp down, and I will daub on some color. And you can see I wanted to get a variance of color. There's nothing worse than just flat color, I figure. It has to be two-toned. So that was my Whisper White piece. And then that is just regular stamping weight paper. Then I have adhered it to Pear Pizzazz. Now, if you don't have, this particular color in your stash, don't worry. You could use your blends marker on a piece of Whisper White and create the same color. You could just use something that's in your stash. Or you can just do it plainly without that little extra touch. So that's my first card. Super simple. It says, I'll always be there for you. It's a nice, soft, simple design. Moving on to card number 2. So thank you, Bruno Bertucci. He has taught me how to do the scrappy strip technique. So that's my Whisper White card here. I'm bringing out my little trimmer, and I am cutting off, I've sacrificed 2 envelopes. So I'm cutting off the envelope part, the colorful part. And then I have some extra pieces. I have some soft seafoam here. I found these glitter pieces in my stash. That's a bit of mint macaron, and that's Pear Pizzazz. So the trick with this is that you cut little strips from your strips of card. So it's a good way to use up your card extra card strips. And if you're a crafter, you know that you get a few extra things, and we save them in our you know, stash thinking, oh, well, I'll use it one day, and you don't. And then you have a big bin of these things. Like this particular, I'm sure it's Père Pizzazz. I think it was from like a magic, I don't know. It was from some kind of, I think, small catalog a couple of times ago. I don't know. Maybe the Halloween one. Not sure. Anyway, I have oodles of it, so I'm going to use it. And of course, I think that it actually works really nicely with the color scheme that I'm going for. So you saw what I did there. I made strips of paper that were on angle and that are, you can do big or small. I chose to do small size strips, and you can see what I'm doing here. So that is of just a quarter sheet of paper. So my strips have to be longer than 4.25 inches. And then I'm just taking a little bit of glue and I am gluing the strips down. The one trick that Bruno Bertucci, he is a support demonstrator for Kylie Bertucci in Australia, he had suggested that you make sure that your first strip goes down straight, and then that's the only rule of thumb. You can, you know, have it go completely off wonky. What you make sure to do is have an even little spacing or a border between the two. You can vary the colors, your color scheme. I actually really like having a little bit of glitter, and that's the reason why I chose to do the little glitter. And look at how much I have, so much more strips left. I can make like 15 of these. Well, maybe not 15. All right, my favorite part, everyone's gonna laugh, is the part that you trim off the extra papers. I don't know why. It's satisfying. All right, I've cut that down to 4 by 5.25. I'm just using a little bit of my green glue. It's not green. The lid is green. And adhering that right to my card base. Doesn't that look lovely? I love that. So thank you, Bruno Bertucci, for this technique. So I also have one of the pieces of label from the kit, and I actually chose to stamp this in shaded spruce. I tried it before with Père Pizzazz and it was too light. So, but I am going to dauber sponge the edges of this card with the Père Pizzazz to you know, soften the edges a little bit. There's dimensional adhesive on the back. I thought I was going to do it there, but then I placed it there and I liked it better. So that's card number 2. Another simple technique, not necessarily family oriented, kind of. That was Quinn. He just cried at me. All right, moving on to card number 3. So with this card, I'm using a couple different colors, the shaded spruce, Père Pizzazz, and then soft suede. So I have my layering squares here. So I have a Whisper White thick card base, and I have a quarter sheet of the same thick cardstock, and I actually cut it down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Anyway, just a little, have a little bit of smaller. I'm not very good with the measurements. Sorry guys, it's just a little smaller. Then I cut out the frame, and I took a pencil and made sure that I knew where the corners of the frame was. Then I inked up with Père Pizzazz, and then I daubered on shaded spruce for the leaves. I've stamped off here with the soft suede, And sorry, I had to think of the actual color. And then I'm coming in with a sponge, and this is balmy blue. So just any blue color you have. And this, if you don't have sponges, it's one of those things that you might want to pick up because they're pretty inexpensive. I think you get it's $7 for 3, and they're really handy to have because I was able to add just a touch of color to give this design some, that the tree's not hanging there in the middle of nowhere. It sort of stamped off a little differently than my regular stamping white paper. And I don't know if it just the stamp wasn't seasoned enough, or because it happens. But I actually really liked that irregular look. So I was happy with it. As you can see there, I just sort of evened out that unevenness with my Wink of Stella. So on the window frame part, I stamped To My Wonderful Mom in Memento Tuxedo Black. I also put an obnoxious amount of those mini dimensionals down. And here you can see that my very slight inner, like I've just cut it just ever so slightly, 1/8 of an inch maybe smaller. And then, I'm going to add some of the pearls that were in the kit. So you can see that irregular, like it's very cool. And I was actually, sometimes when you're stamping, you get like these wonderful little happy accidents and you're like, that's wicked. And then you'll never be able to do it again. So I am just rolling with the punches here, going, this was sort of a happy accident. It wasn't really an accident. It was just the way it was. And I'm rolling with it. And you're going to roll with me. All right, card number 4. So I am using my removable Post-it tape label tape. You can also use Post-its. So what I have here is a little silicone mat. Stampin' Up sells this. I'm using a little bit of my green glue, and I'm putting my finger into it, and on these, I'm going to make a removable adhesive mask. I know, right? So how to do this is to smear the glue around all of the openings. So I'm just going to do 1 leaf here because that's all I need. I don't need 2. And this is the back side. I could have put this, the green side down. It doesn't matter. Just on one side of the openings. And you're going to smear that glue very lightly. And then you're going to put this aside. And because I didn't want to wait, I had already one made. So here I am switching it out. I've cut it in half. So this is my removable sticker now. So I'm going to just demonstrate. So if I want to place it here, see, it's stuck and it looks like it's stuck, but it comes back off because that's what green glue does. Did you know that? So that is Tombow mono adhesive. We call it multi-purpose adhesive. So here is my Post-it note. It's like tape. It's lovely. I got it at Staples, I think, because I'm running out of Post-it notes and I can't go outside. So, well, I can go outside. I just haven't for days. I'm so glad to be talking to myself right now. All right, so this is my dauber. I have daubed off on a piece of paper just to see A, how much ink I have on there, and B, what kind of pressure I need to get a soft color on my mask. I really want to have a nice crisp edge, and that's the reason why I did the whole glue part, because if this mask was moving all around and those edges weren't glued down, I wouldn't get a nice crisp edge. All right, so here I am with some shaded spruce. I'm coming in with my shaded spruce dauber. And I think the daubers we sell in 3 or 5 or something like that. I have them for all the colors, and I I might rotate my ink colors. These ones are sitting in a little container and they are seasoned, and I have a little label on them for all the colors, and I can't survive without them either. So they're a very nice tool to have. All right, this is the magical part, right? So I was very gentle here, and then I realized that I didn't necessarily have to be overly gentle because I did a really good job in gluing this sucker down. So it comes off just perfectly. It's repositionable, but you have to let it dry, and not dry with on your project. You have to dry, face sticky part up for a while. So maybe 10 minutes. You could take your heat tool to it too. It works just as fine. And it has to be a thin bit of glue on your project. Don't overdo it. All right, so you saw that I lifted it up, and now I'm going to do a second leaf. Now this leaf I'm going to do a little bit differently. I am starting off the same way with my Pear Pizzazz, and then I go in with my shaded spruce as well, but I'm sort of just how do I do it? I sort of just did like one side with my shaded spruce, and then I went in with a third color. I went in with Pretty Peacock, and I did more of the stem with the Pretty Peacock. So this is shaded spruce right now. I'm just kind of getting the edge, because in nature everything is different. Everything is unusual. Everything is unique. Just like you and I, we're all unique. And even though we have a love of stamping, I'm pretty sure, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I wanted to make the leaves different on the page, but the same. So here is my Pretty Peacock, and I'm just adding that little touch of blue. It's just ever so slight. But as I peel this up, you will be able to see the difference between the two leaves. But you can see that they're the same, but they're different. And I like that. And then I felt like I was getting bored of green sentiments, so I went in and I used my Pretty Peacock ink. But of course, if you don't have that color, please use what you have. All right, there is a couple of pearls, these lovely pearls. I don't even know what kind of pearls they were. They just say they're pearls. It could be mint macaron, perhaps. It could be, I don't know, maybe maybe soft seafoam. I'm not sure. I put some little of these pearls on there. And I think it was, again, another simple card. Yeah, I'm going for a theme here. And I love the sentiment. I'll always be here for you. So I can send that to my friends after I've sent my family these lovely cards. All right. This is the last and final card. And some of you are going to laugh at me and going, oh my gosh, the fussy cutting. So I saved this one for the last because I always, it's the more difficult one. So I have this card base. I usually sacrifice one of everything out of the kit so that I could do my alternatives, so that you, if you're waiting for some inspiration, you can all go ahead and do, at least one each. But, if you wanted to save some, hold some back for when I come along with my alternatives, you certainly can do that. I have fussy cut all the little flowers out. And then I'm going to cut out some words. So I chose the first part of this saying that says life's greatest blessing. And then it goes on about family, and which is fine because life's greatest blessing is family, except if you're, not getting along with your siblings or what have you. And then maybe family's not so much of a blessing, or maybe this is actually a good reminder of having a blessing when you're, in quarantine with them. I'm pretty sure I've heard some stories of people not necessarily getting along, but that's okay. It's good that we have crafting to help us. I live by myself, so, talking to myself is not unusual. All right, and then I had to cut off this little word here. It says is, And then I found another little bit that said to, so that's on the other side of the word, so or the saying here. So I'm just cutting to make my own sentence. So I've chosen life's greatest blessing is to love and laugh, which I think is it's an uplifting sentiment. It has nothing to do with family. So if you don't have family and you just want to send this to a friend, I think that would work out perfectly too. And you can see what I've done there. I did cut out as best I could. And you know, I would have liked to just made them block, but because it was fancy writing, I couldn't. So here I am doctoring up my little flowers. So there's some flowers that are 4-petaled, some that are 5-petaled, and then some that are 3-petaled. The 3-petaled ones, I put a glue dot in the center, and then I used my take your pick tool and I glued 2 of the 3-petaled flowers together. And I think I did that on 3 of them, so 6 and 3 in total, 6 3-petaled ones. Was that hard to understand? Man, that sounded a lot like math. All right, so here I suggest putting the words down first. See what kind of sayings that you could come up with. So yeah, that was life's greatest blessing. And then I put the 2 down first, and then is, and then love and laugh. So life's greatest blessing is to love and laugh. And I do think that is a blessing. So I put the words down first, then I have dotted my Tombow Mono adhesive, and now I'm using my take your pick tool to stick my flowers to my Whisper White Thick card base. I did a little spray there and see which ones I could get on. And then I think I had 2 left over. I had to do 2 more daubs of glue just to fill the holes. And then to even add a little bit more fillage in the holes, I used some of the, I guess this would be crushed curry pearls. Pretty sure that is crushed curry. And I put a little spray of them. And that is my card designs for today. Thank you so very much for watching. Quinn says goodbye too. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.